How y'all folks doing tonight? My name is Jason O'Neill. I'm the president of Franklin Financial Group, and I just want to welcome you guys to our crash course in credit repair seminar. I certainly appreciate y'all being here tonight. Having been in this business for a number of years, I can tell you one thing that I've learned, and that's having a low credit score is similar to like having some skeletons in your closet, in the sense that there's a stigma that's attached to it. It's almost like you're embarrassed to tell your friends. I'm sure a lot of you would agree that you really don't want your friends to know a whole lot about your personal finances or your situation. But the thing is, if you're tired of being treated like a second-class citizen, I'm here to tell you one thing, and that you're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. The truth of the matter is that the vast majority of people right now in the United States have gone through some type of credit issues. The bad news is that living with a low credit score is going to end up costing you thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of your life. Now the good news, guys, by you coming here this evening, you can rest assured that by the time that you walk out of here, you're going to feel like there's options that are available for you. There's going to be a solution to some of these problems that you've been faced with for the past several years of your life. People don't just choose to have low credit scores. There's real life situations that come into play that cause people to fall into the financial mess that they end up in. And some of these things include maybe someone's lost a job. There's a lot of layoffs going on around the nation right now. Maybe they've been through a divorce. I'm sure a lot of you know that the divorce rate's pretty high throughout the United States. Maybe someone didn't have medical coverage and they had to go to the hospital for some reason. Maybe they broke their arm. Cost them thousands of dollars. They didn't have coverage to take care of that. They couldn't afford to pay that back. I mean, the first thing that I want to go through with you guys to help you understand how to start moving forward with your credit situation is how exactly your credit scores are made. The largest percentage of your credit score is your payment history. I think everybody in here probably understands, right, that if you miss a payment, it's going to hurt your credit. If you make a payment, it's going to help your credit. Now the next 30%, which is the portion that I really like to concentrate a lot on, is your debt to credit ratio. Let's take for an example that you have two credit cards that have $500 limits. You add those together, you come up with $1,000. Okay? Now if you owed $450 on both of those credit cards, you owe $900. Your debt to credit ratio at that point is 90%. If you're maxing your credit cards out, you're getting a very small percentage of that 30% of your credit score. So no matter if you're making all your payments on time, if you're maxed out, it's going to hurt you. Okay, let me kind of explain this to you. If a lender is going to pull your credit and you're trying to get financed for something and they see that you're relying on your credit to live your life, if you're carrying a high balance around, then they're not going to want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. Now, if you really want to maximize your credit score, you want to pay it down to a maximum of 17% debt to credit ratio. So you'd want to carry no higher than $170 balance. If you only have a $1,000 limit, when you apply for something, it's difficult for lenders to determine whether or not you're a good credit risk for them. You've only got $1,000 that you're allowed to run up. So especially if you're carrying a $900 balance, you're not going to get anything. So the key is having extremely high limits with extremely low balances. So the one thing that you really want to concentrate on when you're building your credit is making sure that you get limits as high as possible. And we actually have the ability to refer you to a company that will guarantee give you a $5,000 unsecured line of credit. No chance of being turned down. So if you'd like a little bit of information on that, simply fill out the form that's accompanied with this presentation, and we'll be happy to get that information over to you. If you find yourself in a position of having very little credit or no credit at all, this is the very best way in my years of business that I've found to start building your credit. That's a surefire method of getting your credit score to skyrocket in a short period of time, even if you did nothing about the negative information on your credit report already. Now, the next portion that I want to go through is who exactly are the credit bureaus and how do they affect your life. The credit bureaus are simply publicly traded companies that are in business to simply collect our most personal information and sell that information off at a profit. So keep in mind, you're not their customer, okay? You're not entitled to anything as far as they're concerned. You're their product. Their customers, the banks. Their customers, the people that are buying that information. That's how they make their money, collecting and selling that information. We have a right to challenge the information that's on our credit reports if we deem something to be unverifiable or inaccurate, obsolete. They're reporting the wrong balance. You have a right to challenge the information, and they have to prove 100% of that information is being reported accurately. If one I is left undotted, one T is left uncrossed, they are legally not allowed to report that information and sell it off at a profit. So how exactly can you go about fixing your credit situation? The very first thing that you have to do is obtain a copy of all 3 of your credit reports. If you want to know where to get that credit report, simply fill out the form, and we'll send all the information that's relevant with that question over to you, and you'll know where exactly to get your credit reports. Here's how you can start helping your situation. The very first thing that you want to do is go through your report and find the information that's hurting you. Find the derogatory information, whether that be late payments, collection accounts, charge-offs, bankruptcies, foreclosures, repossessions, tax liens, judgments. If it's not 100% verifiable and accurate, you have a right to challenge that information. Prepare a challenge. You're going to contact the credit bureaus with that challenge, let them know what you want to have happen. Why are you challenging it? What do you want the outcome of that challenge to be? They're going to have 30 days to investigate that claim. And at the end of 30 days, you're going to get an updated copy of your credit report in the mail from all 3 of the credit bureaus, and it's going to give you an itemized description of every single item that you challenged and what the overall process of that challenge may be. Whether you got it deleted, whether they updated the information, whether the credit grantor sent them new information. They're required by law to inform you how their investigation went. Now, if you're not happy with the results of that investigation, here's the good part. You're not done yet. You have a right to know how exactly they're verifying this information, who exactly they talk to. So the next round is going to look something like this. Think of it as an appeals process, okay? It can be worded something similar like this. You know, on a previous occasion, Equifax, we challenged this information, and you deemed it to be accurate or verifiable. I disagree. Now, what I'd like for you to do is produce for me the actual name of the employee that you spoke with over at that credit grantor. Tell me what their phone number is, what their name is. You have a right to request that they produce that documentation for you, so you can stage your challenge to say something like, either produce this information for me or simply delete it from my credit report and all will be forgiven. Because they haven't produced the documentation, the law is on your side. It's not on their side. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is for the consumer. It's not for the credit bureaus. They like you to believe, and they're going to try to fool you into believing that there's nothing that you can do past this point. Well, you could start threatening to bring complaints against them if they don't produce this. You can bring complaints against them after they refuse to produce it again. You can sue them for $1,000 per time that they violate your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. From a pure business standpoint, weigh your options. Is it going to cost us more to verify this than it's worth? I mean, if we're collecting a $500 debt and it's going to cost us $2,000 in legal fees, the choice is simple usually. I mean, they might put up a little bit of a fight, but you know, that's what we're here for, is to help you guys move past that and help you guys get to the point to where you have an ability to get your credit score completely back on track. If you don't want to do it on your own, find a reputable source. Find someone that you can trust and will help you out and go over your credit report with you and tell you what exactly needs to happen to get your score back on track.
Why should I trust you?
Because we have a money-back warranty, sir. And basically what it stipulates is that if we're not able to get the job done for you, we'll refund money back to you. Simple as that. So you can feel confident that when you trade with us, that we're going to help you out. So again, for a no cost, no obligation consultation, simply fill out the form attached with this, and we'll be in touch with you.